Laken was an amazing friend, sister, niece, daughter, and granddaughter. Everyone who knew her knew about her loving heart. Allison Phillips, Riley's mother, told the judge during a victim impact statement. Laken's life was not the only life taken on that day by Jose Ibarra, on the day that Jose Ibarra attacked her. Her life, the life of her family and her friends was taken too, and none of us will ever be the same. Hey, it's your buddy Moo Juice Magic here. So the sentencing and conviction of Jose Ibarra, a Venezuelan illegal immigrant into the United States who brutally murdered Laken Riley, was convicted and sentenced today. It was a miscarriage of justice because he received not the guilty verdict, but the punishment, sentence, was a miscarriage of justice. So Ibarra was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Why is that injustice, Mujus? Because he brutally murdered a woman for no reason aside from that he wanted to force himself on her. Let's read through, shall we? Most of this is going to be from an article in USA Today. Prosecutors say defendant was hunting for females. The trial began Friday when Special Prosecutor Sheila Ross said Ibarra had gone hunting for females at the campus, spotted Riley and planned to rape her, but met fierce resistance and bashed her skull in with a rock repeatedly. As a dad of two daughters, life in prison without parole is not justice. Not even close. Justice, and I am bringing this forward right now. If you know a congressperson and you watch this video, get this to them because this is a very serious suggestion for a bill that needs to get passed. It needs to. We need this in America. It will deter other illegal immigrants from doing this, thinking they can come here and murder ours for the crime of just not wanting to be raped. I don't think that's too much to ask. This is my suggestion that when an illegal immigrant is found guilty of murder of a citizen of the United States of America, murder or, for that matter, sexual assault in any fashion, the penalty should be federal because they are not an American citizen. This is now an international situation. These people are in our country. This is a federal issue, not a state issue. The state has no place in this. This should be a federal situation. It should be met with a tribunal, not a jury of their peers. And if found guilty, the sentence should be death. Not life in prison, but death to be carried out within a month. That gives her a fair stay of execution in case new evidence can come forward from the defense. And that law should also, the bill should also include that within an hour of the time of execution, the beginning of time of execution, because I'll get to that. If the stay of execution order hasn't happened before an hour or an hour before that, there is no stay of execution, and the execution will commence. When I say the start of the execution, and again, I'm talking about this as a sentencing YouTube. This is a suggestion for a law, not me telling someone to go do this. In fact, I don't want anyone to act out of law for anything at all. This needs to be a federal law, because immigration based. A civilian should be able to volunteer to take out this task. It will save so much money from taxes. It'll save a lot more money than feeding and housing this person for the rest of their lives. It's disgusting because Laken Riley's in some fashion, and her family, the Rileys in some fashion or another, are going to be paying taxes that go to keep this piece of crap alive. That is a miscarriage of justice. That is not justice. That is not good. There is no way that should be legal. There is no way that is an asinine thought that he should be given life in prison without the possibility of parole. The only justice would be the death penalty, period. And in this case, to save tax money, a civilian should be able to volunteer, like I said. The only expenses paid are travel and food. And the civilian that volunteers to do this, it should be a volunteer basis, should be aware that cleanup would be part of their responsibility. The state should dispose of the remains, or the city, or the federal government should dispose of the remains. The state can provide the cleaning utensils, cleanup gear. This should also include, for citizens, convicted felons, and people who are serving life in prison that are citizens of the United States that want to give something positive back to our country. To do something to show that they are actually sorry for the crimes they have committed. And in return for their service, they should get the knowledge that they have done something right. Still, everything else will be implemented the same way. Whatever implement of death they choose to use, because it should be a blunt object in this particular case, because he bashed her skull in with a rock repeatedly, to clarify. A rock should be on the table as a possibility. It should be up to the person taking out the sentence. Obviously, if this is a prisoner, this becomes another issue. They have to make sure that, there's other things that are done, like they don't hurt themselves, things like that. It should be a prisoner who knows not to kill themselves too. Yeah, no forever sleeps going on here. But anyway, if you know a member of Congress, obviously there's more ideas and more to be hashed out here on the legal end of it. This should sincerely be brought up with this, and let me know if you agree with me in the comments below. If you don't agree, I don't care. Because this situation, justice is justice. This isn't about retribution or retaliation. This is simply about justice. And the only way for justice to be served is for this man to face the same kind of fear and agony that Laken suffered through in her last moments as she fought back bravely for her life. At least she was spared the indignity because she fought, of being raped by this piece of crap. Disgusting. Just disgusting. As she was heading out on her run, Riley had called and texted her mom, Phillips, asking if she had time to talk, but never responded to her mother's messages or answered her calls, the Associated Press reported. Can you call me? Phillips texted at 9:37 a.m. Phillips called twice, according to cell phone data presented in court, according to the AP. You're making me nervous, not answering while you're out running. Are you okay? Phillips texted at 9:58 a.m. Please call me. I'm worried sick about you. Phillips texted at 11:47 a.m. The only justice in this is the death penalty, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Congress needs to get involved. If they can't even do that, if a public figure can't be bothered to do something like this, they don't deserve to be in office. They don't care about the country enough. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Moon Juice Magic out.